Antifa here in Seattle marched yesterday on an empty Seattle Police Officers Guild headquarters, just south of the domes in Seattle. Empty. Nobody was there. They're protesting against who knows what, over what. It's never clear. It's never clear with Antifa. What are you really doing here? Well, they proceeded to upset a lot of residents, had some people honking their horns, not in support, but in opposition, going, what are you guys doing? Even local residents are like, what are these jokers doing? Let's watch a video from Jonathan Cho, see what's going on here in Seattle.
You do know you're in Chinatown, right, bro? Dog is a cancer. Okay. Are the activists coming after you yet?
No, you all right? You good?
You see somebody?
Not really.
You ain't shit. Y'all are cancer. Y'all are cancer.
You say it.
Y'all are cancer. Y'all out here causing bullshit.
I mean, I don't think that these people live here. I know that guy doesn't live here.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, maybe they could be some homeless people that live here or something, but this doesn't make any sense.
They ain't got shit to say now.
Nope.
Y'all fucking hypocrites, man. Get the fuck out the corner.
Let's go. Come on up. Nope. You come to my area. You come to my neighborhood. Send the fat kid. 12th and Jackson.
This guy's pissed. S-Dot. Like, get the off the street. Come on, hurry. It's like, get there. See that look on that guy's face? Get off the street.
And I've been spotted again by the Antifa goons.
This guy needs to do some cardio.
There goes Christina, a well-known activist who's been arrested multiple times.
You're such a loser. You're a stalker, bro.
He's getting his own chance.
They're protesting the cops. They hate all cops. They just say kill cops. All cops are bastards.
This is interesting.
Yeah.
Yo, that's crazy. I ain't with all that, man. Probably any cops on the police force for them to want to hate someone. They done either quit or not on scene or anything. Like, why are you hating the police? They not even on. They don't even have enough motherfuckers. They behind. Listen, they behind on rape cases. They behind on domestic cases. They behind on assault cases. They are behind on everything. So why would people be out here protesting against the cops? I don't know, bro.
Good question.
Pack that shit the in and go lay the down and go play
Agreed.
Some shit.
Son, could you run for mayor?
Cheeseburger, and they're blocking the road. Come on, there's no one down here that
We've got cheeseburgers. We got to get some cheeseburgers.
If they really wanted to make a dent, they would go somewhere where there was population.
I don't understand how they all get away with it, but they do.
They put that flashlight in your face?
Yeah.
Welcome to Seattle. Welcome to the activist class. Hey, do those guys trigger you guys?
I think that we need to fund the police a little bit more to get these motherfuckers off the road. They're freaking ridiculous. No, I figured that they were Antifa because they have black masks. You know what my favorite part is? Is that this is about protesting police, right?
Yeah.
Why were they saying, why did they have a bunch of pride flags walking down? What the does that have to do with defending the police?
There's a question.
Got the burger. Take care.
Got the burger. He got his burgers. He's going to go down 4th Avenue South. Away he goes. End of the day, no SPOG contract. Abolish SPOG. Remember that scene right there. Right there. There it is. Seattle Police Officers Guild headquarters. So what they were doing, let me show you where they were. We got the map here. Okay. So this is where the Seattle Police Officers Guild is right here. You saw that they marched past our two big domes. I call them domes, Lumen Field and T-Mobile Park. That's where Seahawks and Mariners and Sounders and everybody plays. Those are the big. So they just walked basically down 4th Avenue South, down here to SPOG, to the headquarters, and nobody was there. It was vacant. It's like, okay, guys, what they are protesting is there was a police officer that was doing like 70 miles an hour in Seattle going to a fentanyl overdose call, and he clipped an innocent bystander on the corner, ran her over, killed her. And then some comments were made, and this has been a national thing. Some comments were made, taken wildly out of context, and that is what those images that they placed up, that Antifa placed up on the fence in front of SPOG and Seattle Police Officers Guild. Those were of people that they are, protesting in support of. One of those was this young lady here. And unfortunately, the police officer said some things that are viewed as highly insensitive. And if I was this young lady, she was 26 years old, nursing student. If I was her parent, I would be highly offended. And I get that. But here's the context. So in the footage, Otterer, he's the individual saying this stuff, can be heard explaining how he thinks the victim was hit and then says, but she's dead. He laughs, apparently in response to a comment made by the other person on the phone. This is on body footage, the gear footage. No, it's a regular person, Otterer says. Moments later, he replies, yeah, just write a check, and then laughs again before adding, yeah, 11 grand. She was 26 anyway, incorrectly stating Kendall's age. Maybe she's 27. I don't know. She had limited value. So then this got out there and everybody's like, oh, you need to fire that guy. This is terrible. This is awful. We need to have police do this and that. This isn't Seattle where you've got a massive number of police officers missing from the force. Meanwhile, we've got this stuff going on. And I get that people are upset over that. But you know what I said, and the reason I haven't podcasted on this, because I think it's just taken out of context. They're having a phone conversation of, okay, so here in policing, you got dead people and sometimes innocent people die and things are hard. There are things in policing, public safety that are brutal. And so the bottom line is yeah, we're going to pay out 11 grand for a wrongful death kind of deal. And all right, what's that 11 grand based on? And this is how the law works and this is how attorneys work. And that's what this guy was commenting on. He's saying, hey, yeah, an attorney's going to say, well, probably 11 grand payout to the family because she was 26. She's not a highly earning individual at this point in time. And those are just the facts. That's what they base the payout on. Otterer has reportedly said his comments about the woman's value were intended to be a mockery of city lawyers, according to conservative KTTH talk show radio host Jason Rantz, who says his show obtained a document in which Otterer self-reported his comments to the police department after realizing they'd been recorded. I was imitating what a lawyer tasked with negotiating the case would be saying and being sarcastic to express that they shouldn't be coming up with crazy arguments to minimize the payment. Well, it's not even a crazy argument. It's just reality. Somebody gets clipped on the sidewalk. That cop is, going 100 miles, literally like 70 miles an hour in a downtown urban environment to try and save somebody's life. Somebody dies. People get paid out. These are the mechanics. Was this insensitive? Yeah. But and I'm not trying to defend the police, but if you put every individual on the police force away for saying something insensitive, you wouldn't have any cops at all. None. You'd have none because there's a lot of stuff that I think cops and anybody, firefighters deal with that are just horrific. And they may have some responses that you and I who call 911, we expect their services, but we don't want to hear what they have to say when they bring the brutal reality, which is, all right, an innocent person died. We pay him out. How do we base that on? Here's the chart. Well, how much money were they making? What was their position in life? That is the brutal reality of when somebody innocent dies and there's a city payout, right? So this whole thing was, all right, that cop is just terrible. He's awful. Just the whole thing is just, they're going down that road and it's like, okay. So the usual fringe group of far left activists, along with Antifa militants, marched to Seattle Police Officers Guild headquarters to air out their grievances against the agency. But the rest of the community is pushing back. let's talk about the rest of the community. How about the guy trying to get a burger? And he had good comments there, right? And he's like, okay, if they really wanted to do something, they'd go elsewhere where there's a lot of people. They're not doing that. They're marching on Spog where there is nobody. There's nobody there. Nobody. Hello, McFly, anybody home? No. All right. What are you doing? Well, we're going to leave some flyers on the cyclone fencing out in front. Okay. The other comment by the young lady in blonde at the end was like, why are there, pride flags being flown? Well, because then they can kind of co-opt that into their movement. Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, people won't honk their horns that much at us if we do the pride flag or whatever flag that was. That flag didn't look 100% familiar to me, but I don't know. How about the black dude out in front of the one black dude was really upset. Yeah, he's just yelling at him. And they're like, oh, you notice that when Antifa has confrontation with anybody who really starts to push back, they immediately just roll over. They are, it's just, yeah, it's so bad. And then the one dude is explaining to Jonathan Cho, we're not investigating this. We're not investigating this. We're not investigating this because we don't have enough cops. This is a dude in South Seattle who's identified some of the bad things that have happened. And, all these racial protests were supposed to be about, police officers taking the lives of those in the BIPOC community. Here's a dude standing out in front of a mini mart going, that's some real nonsense over there. They're doing what? They're doing what? Yeah, I think more people need to see what Antifa is actually marching on. And then you'd be like, oh, okay, yeah, that is just silliness. Like the guy who's driving his big truck, the S-Dot truck. He just, leans into a big honk of his horn because he wants to get across the street. He's got a job to do. And he has zero time for the little prancing around by Antifa and then shining a light on people and calling out Jonathan Cho. I thought you guys were protesting to bring awareness to an event. That's what most of the time when a protest happens. But then when somebody tries to come and record it, you don't want them to record. I mean, if you're really protesting something, you should be happy to have as many outlets out there showing what it is that, the meaning of your protest. But we don't want Jonathan Cho because, he might actually show what you're up to. And I think we saw there just kind of how ridiculous this was. A march on an empty Seattle Police Officers Guild headquarters over an incident that happened. And yet it's like, okay, this is the reality. Sometimes bad things get said and we're so butthurt by our feelings. Oh, my feelings were impacted here. And again, if I was that girl's parents, I would be upset. You betcha. You bet. But again, your daughter is gone. If somebody said that about my passed away son, well, he was doing drugs. He should have known better. Is that hurtful? Yeah, but it's also reality. You know what I mean? You got to take reality with what's out there and you can't be butthurt about everything because you'll get nowhere. And that's kind of where I see Antifa getting with this whole march. They got nowhere. So if that's what you want to do, I'd say, keep doing it. I'll keep podcasting it on. I'll monetize. I'll monetize off of Antifa because, people tune in for this kind of stuff because it's such a crazy train. And I think even Seattle residents, those are residents in the heart of Seattle. That's 4th Avenue South. I mean, that's an area that has historically been, it's a mix of industrial. If you want to go get some countertops and you want to check out a whole bunch of warehouses, you go there. If you want to check out plumbing fixtures, if you want to check out light fixtures, you go there. And I know this because I have done that with my girlfriend and, excruciating experiences, but you can get some really cheap stuff and it's all right there because they're operating in, this area that's It's a little sketch, but there is an epic Krispy Kreme that, hands out that one glazed original donut. Oh, those are so good. And oftentimes I'll park in this area. Back in the day, I would park in this area because then you can walk up to those two big stadiums and you can park for free. But now I don't do that. I pay the $100 or whatever it is for parking because I don't want to get my car jacked. I don't want to get my car broken into. I'd like to go back to my car in one piece. And I figure paying the small fee for parking right at the stadiums is kind of like a little insurance policy. So that's a little bit of background on what we've got going on with this Antifa march. But I thought it was interesting that this Antifa march happened, and it wasn't really much of a march on anything or about anything that I could really ascertain. All right. That's it for me on this one. Thanks so much for being here. We'll catch up with you on the next one. Bye for now.